This is United A-Holes.
Welcome to United A-Holes, the only show that goes on YouTube Live without a net.
We're still in the intro.
Driftwood.
Now you can go.
Welcome to United A-Holes, the only show that goes live on YouTube without a net. I'm Herb Driftwood, and with me tonight in the green cap and white t-shirt is Mr. Josh Farrell, rocking his usual Habs hoodie is Duff, and sitting in front of his skyline as usual, we have Martini. Here, tonight's top news stories.
Men of no words. They do a fucking YouTube show and they don't say a thing.
Well, that's why I'm glad you came on tonight, Josh, to be honest with you.
I've got so
somebody
much
to talk to.
I've got comments on every sentence.
Sweet. Here's your first headline, guys. Tom Cruise is in the news. It has been confirmed by NASA that his next action science fiction movie is going to actually be filmed in the International Space Station. That's right, Tom Cruise. Most people think he is a space cadet, but he's actually going to outer space and film a movie there with the help of Elon Musk and the Space Exploration division of one of his many companies. So Tom Cruise is noted for flying the jets by himself in Top Gun, straddling the side of an airplane in the Mission Impossible movies, and pretty much doing 90% of his stunts.
Yeah, he flew a helicopter in the last one.
Yeah.
And did like a lot of crazy shit.
Now, this movie has been confirmed that it isn't a Mission Impossible movie, but it does beg the question, does this really make Tom Cruise the most legitimate action star that's out there right now? Besides the martial arts guys that obviously can do martial arts, but...
Define right now.
And I was going to say, even if the martial arts guys can do martial arts, I mean, Tom Cruise can do what Tom Cruise does. I would say he probably is one of the greatest action stars ever.
Certainly the most legitimate. I think Keanu Reeves would be a close second because he can do all the shooting.
If we're saying ever, then I got to submit Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put Jackie Chan over Tom Cruise, for sure.
Yeah. Some of the behind-the-scenes stuff in his movies is just insane on the stunts that he does, for sure. Absolutely.
And if you're saying just recently, what about The Rock? He's done a ton of movies lately.
Yeah,
he
can
can
wrestle.
wrestle.
He puts the time in the gym.
I haven't seen a lot of diversity in The Rock's roles, though, to be honest. The only time he seems to be playing a character is in the Jumanji movies. And what else? Like, it seems to be, like, always it's The Rock.
And Sean William Scott, or Jack Black, or Kevin Hart, or... Let's put him with a short, funny guy.
Yeah.
They
work all together. I love those Jumanji movies.
The, was it Be Cool, I think, was the first movie I seen him in that made me believe he could act. He played a gay guy, I think, in Be Cool.
He what? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was the movie that says, like, oh shit, this guy can act, but where he's a wrestler, bodybuilder, they typecast him.
He's not just the Scorpion King.
Exactly.
Didn't he play like a family dad or something in a few?
He
the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
And there was a football one where he took a kid under his wing too. I forget.
I do like The Rock. He was an excellent wrestler.
He was a good personality. So we're all in agreement. We can all smell what The Rock is cooking. Cool.
Smell some of it.
I believe in the people's elbow.
Right on. Next, we have some sad news, guys. We lost two pioneers this week. Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's father, but more importantly, George Costanza's father on Seinfeld passed away.
Also, Arthur Spooner.
Yes,
I love Jerry Stiller. I was bummed out to hear he died because he was a great comedic performer.
he was. Yeah, well, the classic line: "Everybody has Christmas, but Festivus for the rest of us."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a T-shirt that had that on it, I would buy that, just in his honor.
There probably are.
I would say. And the architect of rock and roll, Little Richard, passed away as well too.
That one surprised me. I hadn't really thought of Little Richard much.
It's amazing.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. I like to call him Little Dick.
He would tell you different, probably. It's amazing the cross section. Go ahead, Josh.
I did read that Lemmy from Motorhead had a lot of respect for Little Richard.
Was his favorite.
Yeah. He was in an episode of the Drew Carey Show, the greatest sitcom ever made.
That's only because Mimi was in it. I put that show on pause many, many times when she walked onto the screen. I'm not going to lie.
She was a babe.
I think we just lost Martini. But it was amazing. There was a lot of actually hard rock musicians and metal musicians that actually had glowing things to say about the passing of Little Richard, which means that regardless of the genre, music just transcends. Next up, we have Mayim Bialik. Now, I was waiting for the Big Bang Theory's cast. I wondered who was going to be the first one to get their own sitcom, or to get, maybe even a spin-off series from it, now that the Big Bang Theory is no longer. And I wasn't really surprised that it was Mayim Bialik. What I am surprised at is the actual sitcom premise. It's called Call Me Kat, and it's based on a BBC series called Miranda, who basically, the whole premise of the show is that she's living with her mom and living in a world where she can't have everything that she wants, but she is content on not getting all that life has to offer. And she opens up a cat cafe in Kentucky. That is the sitcom.
Sounds like sitcom poison. That doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't know what the show is about, based on what you've told me.
Call Me Kat. She opens up a cat cafe.
So it's a catcom.
Yeah, it's basically everybody that loves cats is going to watch the show just because there's going to be cats on it, type of thing. I mean,
at least Two Broke Girls had two of them. Wasn't that show basically kind of the same? Not Cat Cafe, but wasn't it about people that worked in like a restaurant
diner
or something?
Yeah, a diner, struggling to make ends meet, working 9 to 5, like a Laverne and Shirley, like a modern day Laverne and Shirley. Two Broke Girls, but
did they have one
finally,
cup?
Broke girls serving cups of coffee.
Plain cups. Speaking of what you see, you can't unsee. And finally, this is a conspiracy theory that I come across this week that you have to read the article in order for it to be believed. So, does everybody know who the Scorpions are as a band?
Rough.
Yes.
Martini,
Yeah.
have you
No.
heard of the Scorpions?
Not by name.
Okay.
Rock you like a hurricane. Here
Yes.
I am.
Okay, I know
Yeah,
that.
that's the
Here
Scorpion.
I am. Okay, that's the Scorpions. Okay.
Here I am. Really?
So the Scorpions, one of their most popular songs was Winds of Change. And that was in relation to the fact that they were the first metal band to actually play in Russia. And then a year later, they played the Moscow Peace Music Festival that you can still see in its entirety on YouTube in some form or fashion,
Were
whether it's
people
the whole
allowed
thing or
to go?
bands.
Were they
What's
allowed to go to the Peace
Oh, yeah.
Festival?
Oh yeah, there's like 200,000 people. But this week I learned that the CIA wrote that song for the Scorpions. I kid you not. Yep. The CIA wrote the song Winds of Change for the German metal band, the Scorpions. And there is an 11 episode arc that is going to be on some platform later this year, and it is going to deal with the fact on how the CIA gets involved in pulp culture in order to swing or sway different outcomes in the world. And one of the major ones is the fact that the CIA wrote the song Winds of Change for the Scorpions. Now, Claus Mine denies this. The official stance from the Scorpions is, are you freaking kidding me? But the guy that's doing the documentary on this is legitimate. Like, he's known for remember the movie Spotlight with Michael Keaton? That was based, he's one of those guys, right? And he is adamant that
for the
there's
Boston Globe?
Yeah. He's adamant that there's enough truth and gray area stuff that tends him to believe that the CIA actually wrote that song.
Honestly, though, it would be the least fucked up thing the CIA has ever done, because they've legit on paper done some really truly terrible things. So I honestly kind of buy it. I don't know what the song's about, though. I've never heard the song. What is the song about?
Peace, the winds of change, the downfall of communism.
Okay.
So
it mentions a lot of landmarks in Russia.
The journalist is legit. The band's obviously real.
Yeah.
And it's going to be streaming on the Plandemic streaming service coming up. That new one, or
one of them. One of them. Okay. But it's and then they went on and listed about how all the other past cultural events that the CIA was secretly involved in to, motivate masses of people to, think a certain way. And and the reason why they got involved with this is they wanted basically to have a groundswell in the youth movement to basically change the youth culture in behind the Iron Curtain, that democracy was good and communism was bad. And so they did it through music, apparently.
Look where that got them.
Yeah.
Can I, if we're ready to move on, can I quickly bring up Tara's most recent comment?
Sure.
I am sad that she says Project Blue Book on the History Channel has been canceled, and that actually is pretty sad because I checked it out and it actually is a pretty good show. So thank you, Tara. But also, why would you do this to me? It's Project Blue Book. It's about J. Allen Hynek. The CIA had a project to investigate UFO reports, and the series is based on that project. And it's actually a really great show. So it is too bad that it got canceled because that was a good History Channel show.
I'll have to check it out.
I also have a
Maybe
question.
I'll. Oh, go ahead.
Is Duffley ever going to finish installing Windows behind him, or
That's not moving.
yeah, it's waiting for input,
his
isn't it?
Saver.
Are you happy now?
Slightly more so, yes.
It is
I'm
a
off,
li-
I'm
yeah.
off duty
Now
right
it's
now. I don't need to
clap your
finish
hands.
that till tomorrow morning.
Paid by the hour,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
Although, to
Duff.
be honest, salary workers probably, I mean, as a salary worker, I don't feel like doing a whole lot of extra work. I get paid the same amount.
Right
Well,
on.
you gotta put the time in.
We
That
got
is an
nothing but time.
interesting theory, Ken, and it's not one that I am ready to immediately dismiss.
Good enough. Duff, have you got a meme for us this week, buddy?
I do. Today's meme of the week. It's a special message from Boston. Boston guys just want to let you know that you got to stay wicked far apart.
Nice.
So just keep that up, and everything will be good in a couple months.
I gotta say, one of my favorite types of comedy is making fun of accents. I love accents. The Boston accent is a very stupid sounding accent. It's very nice.
It is, actually. I want to find me a nice Boston girl.
Yeah, one who's wicked smart.
One who's wicked smart.
Well, you're all from Southie.
Who can make a mean chowder?
Everybody from Boston's from Southie when you put on an accent.
Oh, Burgers is the greatest restaurant ever.
It's almost Australian.
Well,
You're
they
gonna go watch The Departed after this?
The
Right on.
Departed.
Sweet. Good one. Next up we have That's Not What You Quoted Me. All right. So, our celebrity this week is none other than Donald J. Trump. And I'm going to give you 3 quotes, and you tell me which one he actually said. All right. The first one. I believe in an America where millions of Americans believe in an America. That's the American millions of Americans believe in. That's the America I love. Or did he say, I actually don't like thinking. I think people think I like to think a lot. And I don't. I don't like to think at all. Or did he say, they're not able to fill the beds. They needed 2 hospitals. I built them 1. It was perfect.
Damn.
Is this a trick question? Did he say all 3?
Those,
Yeah.
those last
No.
2 especially
But he
sound
could have.
very...
I'm going to go with option B.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with third one. I'm gonna go with third.
Third one, what do you think, Duff?
Yeah. As Canadian Crafter said, all 3 are plausible. I would say I'm going to go with option C as well.
Okay, so for the record, Martini picked B, which is I actually don't like the thinking. And
That one sounds real too.
They all sound real.
Do you want to change your answer, Josh?
No. I'm locked in. Deal or
All
no
right.
deal. I'm locked in.
Final answer?
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Final answer. Yeah.
All right.
Whatever. Some game show.
All right. I believe in an America where millions of Americans believe in an America that's the American millions of Americans believe in. That's the America I love, was actually said by Mitt Romney during his presidential run that he lost. Go figure.
But how?
And They're not able to fill the beds. They needed 2 hospitals. I built them one. It was perfect. Was actually Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, I knew it. Wait, that was me, right? I got that right?
Yeah, he did.
And surprise, surprise, the I actually don't like thinking is Kanye West.
Nice.
All right. Next up, we have Teeny's Shitty Movie Reviews.
Can't wait.
First movie up this week is Fantasy Island. Let me get the poster here for you.
Is that the remake? Yeah. Okay.
That's the 2020 version, directed by Jeff Wadlow, starring Michael Pena, Maggie Q, and Lucy Hale.
How was it, Ryan?
Now, this movie is classified as an adventure fantasy horror. When I think they meant this is a horrible fantasy to have if you want an adventure. Five
Not
people
classified whatsoever by the CIA.
yeah. 5 people come to an island expecting to live out a fantasy they requested without knowing how the fantasy is going to be provided or how the system works. They seem to be okay with it, though. A couple of the fantasies seem legit. You have 2 millionaire playboys. They just want drugs, sex, party, that kind of thing. Then you have the guy that wants to test his mettle as a soldier. Sure, why not? Then it gets a little odd. A girl wants revenge on her high school bully. I mean, I guess it's a traumatic time in your life, but you can ask for whatever you want, and to bully somebody is all they could come up with. It's a little reaching. And then lastly, you have a girl that regrets saying no to a marriage proposal. And I'm not sure how saying you regret something constitutes a fantasy, and how did she write into this competition to say, I regret this, that's my fantasy? Like, how did they take her seriously? But anyway, she won, get on the island.
They needed to pad out the second act.
Yeah.
They needed the romance. They needed some romance.
It kind of sounds like The American Dream, the movie, honestly.
Yeah, okay. That's a good take. So this fantastical island, magically or supernaturally or alien techly, we don't really know, makes these ideas come to life by making it real. Kind of. In some situations, they actually have to abduct people from real life to fill the role they need to play in the fantasy. And in other situations, the island just makes people out of thin air. People that were dead are alive again. Consistency is not this movie's strong suit.
Now, is that a part of the narrative? Like, is that on purpose, or is it just a plot hole?
That's on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't an episode of The Twilight Zone?
No.
All right.
So, of course, everything goes awry, as these fantasies were never really thought out in detail, so they get perverted by the system. Then the movie decides a plot twist is in order because reasons.
Yep.
Then once you understand the plot twist a bit, they twist it again. And then a third time, so much so that it contradicts the first plot twist, making it so it doesn't really matter. It was just a way to add time to what should have been a short movie.
That's how you write a good movie, though, Martini.
Yeah. Well, after that, like this review, it just ends. Metacritic gives it 22, IMDb gives it a 4.8, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 48.
What do you give it?
I don't rate movies. I don't know why you ask.
It was the first time I ever asked.
Moving on.
Ooh, that looks like a good one.
Why are you
I
giving
like
me
the
shit?
poster.
Was it
That's what he
now?
does.
Are you someone that has seen / has watched Fantasy Island, the original series?
I don't recall watching the original Fantasy Island. I'm not a big horror movie fan to begin with. I watched this one because I thought it was going to be more on the comedy side horror than the gruesome thriller horror, which it is. So it kind of...
Now I am a horror thriller fan. Do you think it's serviceable as a thriller?
No.
No.
No, There was not a single time in this movie where I was at the edge of my seat thinking what's going to happen next, or, you know, how are they going to get away with it kind of thing. It was just, I watched the story play out. And I'm going to assume he has no more questions because he's talking to somebody else off camera.
You. What's up with this Agent Jade Black?
So Agent Jade Black, directed by Terry Spears, starring Katie Burgess, Connie Franklin, and Sidney Flack. I highly recommend watching this movie, and I know that is a weird thing to hear from Shitty Movie Review, but this movie is so bad it will make you appreciate other movies a lot more.
Who's the director again? Sorry,
Terry Spears.
Okay.
So
related to Penelope Spears? Or no, that was Penelope Spears.
Terry Spears.
Oh yeah,
Superman
from Mad
TV?
TV. Yeah.
So
I
when
used
Ken
to-
said that looks like a good movie because he looked at the cover, that's where it ends.
Yeah. That's actually how I was going to close this segment. I swear the best part of this movie is the poster. And I don't think the person on the poster is in the movie. But I'll go back to where I was. So sometimes movies are so bad that it makes its way back to being a good in some odd way. Unfortunately, this movie isn't one of them. The first thing you notice about this movie is that the lack of effort put in by the actors. For instance, running for your life in a slight jog should work. Need to kill a bad guy chasing you, but in a cool way? Just take the time to sit down, lie down, lay upside down, point the gun, shoot. You know, natural. Supposed to be a trained agent, need to open a door, but there's a gun in your hand. Just put the gun in your other hand, but hold it by the barrel. It's smooth. You can't put all the blame on the actors. They are just doing what the director told them, right? So, the director,
Exactly.
Terry Spears. What do you have to say for yourself? Probably that it's a budget movie and too much money was used in the special effects to hire, too much money was in the special effects. You couldn't afford to hire great actors. Which reminds me, entire scenes in the movies are just off screen so they don't have to pay for those expensive shots. Need to blow up a compound? Show a little fire over the horizon of a hill.
Exposition is cheap, Ryan.
Character makes a sweet
Exposition
shot.
commodity.
Show the shooter instead of the target. And while we're on special effects, why are all the special effect noises at least 6 dB higher than the rest of the film? Now sure, normally gunshots, explosions, they're supposed to be loud. But what about the creaking door? Or the noise you get from glass breaking? It's just way louder than the rest of the movie, taking you out of belief. So, director Terry says, must have been a budget issue, so let's blame the producer, who happens to be Terry Spears. Well, sure, the producer's saying he had to pay so much for the special effects he couldn't afford the actors because the story wasn't that exciting. So let's blame the writer.
Yeah.
Terry
it's the
Spears.
writer's fault.
So, if you'd like to help to support Terry in his movie career, check out Agent Jade Black, or American Terror Story, or Hell's Bell. Not Bells, Bell. Starting to see a pattern of the movie trying to confuse the movie watcher by putting a movie that's very closeness in name to something they actually wanted to see.
Yes.
Like, I don't get that reference. Sorry. What do you mean?
Well, American Horror Story as opposed to American Terror Story.
Oh,
Hell's
yes.
Bells instead of Hell's Bell.
Hell's Bell is actually a good title.
Hell's Bell.
If it's Belle, that's
It-
I mean, clever enough.
It is with the E, so you nailed it.
I think United A-Holes was going to be called that at one point. Hell's Bell. Martini, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm noticing a kind of a trend. When you do your movie reviews, I go on Plex to find them, to watch them for myself, and I cannot find them.
They're there. Every movie.
Are they?
Well, sorry. James versus his future self was so bad that I had to remove it so that no one else went through that pain.
And don't think we appreciate that. Don't appreciate that because we do. Go ahead, Josh.
Can I ask a question that's semi-related? What is the best worst movie you've seen, Ryan? Or everyone? Everyone. What is the best worst movie?
Agent Jade Black.
An easy answer.
I guess without defining best, Tusk was one of the best worst
I've
movies.
yet to see that. I want to watch that.
That's an awesome movie. I love Tusk.
Yeah, that was one of the best worst movies I've seen.
No, I think Randy Ross will attest to the quality of that film. I legitimately love that movie. That movie gave me chills at times. I really like that movie.
It was hard for me to watch. They did such a good job on the visuals.
Yeah,
there was nothing left to the imagination.
Walrus looks amazing.
It was, yeah.
Honestly, anyone out there watching, you should check out Tusk because it is fucked up, but it's also like well done. It is good. Kevin Smith is good when he wants to be. Yeah. Let's move on.
James had a question for Ken. Yes or Genesis?
Yes.
I'm guessing Terminator. That was a terrible movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. In answer to your question, Josh, for me, it's John Waters' Desperate Living.
Yes, I should have known. I really like Troll 2. That might be my favorite one. Troll 2 is really good.
The Room is up there as well, too.
The Room is good. Troll 2 is a bit more fun, though. Troll 2's got like goblins and it's got a killer soundtrack. So
awesome. All right. Tasty time out time. All right. This episode's Tasty Time Out is all about comfort food. And I'm going to ask the question, can anybody tell me what Chandler Bing's third favorite meal of all time is?
Let me ask my girlfriend.
As I say,
I don't even know who that
if
guy
Amanda
is.
was home, she'd tell you, but she's not home, so I can't help you.
Chandler Bing from Friends. The TV show Friends.
Oh,
what his
another show I didn't watch.
third favorite meal of all time is?
I'm testing my girlfriend.
Canadian
here,
Crafter
she knows
says
pretty much everything.
Macaroni with cut up hot dogs.
And Canadian Crafter would be 100% right. It is Chandler Bing's third favorite meal. When I actually Googled mac and cheese with cut up hot dogs, I got 8,900,000 results in 0.064 seconds. And Kraft mac and cheese is considered to be the unofficial de facto food of Canada, I found out. And that is our tasty timeout.
It is only available in Canada, right?
Yes, it would be. But not just, my recipe doesn't actually call for Kraft dinner. My recipe calls for Kraft Mac Deluxe. Not the powdered cheese, the cream cheese.
Not what you plebs eat, but the deluxe macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
I mean,
what the elite?
That's a vision. That's a vision of loveliness right there on the screen. Wouldn't you agree? So, what you're looking at is 2 boxes of Kraft Macaroni Deluxe, a brick of actual Kraft cream cheese as well too, 2 packages of hot dogs, but not just any hot dogs, Coachman wieners, and you cut up the hot dogs very, very, very thin too, and you cook the mac and cheese. And when you're putting the cheese in, you put the extra cream cheese in as well. Put it in a casserole dish, as you can see. Then take a box of Ritz crackers and crush up the Ritz crackers and sprinkle that over the top. And then you take Kraft Parmesan cheese, grated cheese, and you sprinkle that over there and put it in the oven for about 20 minutes on 350, and voila. What you're looking at in the picture is the recipe before it actually goes into the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. And it is some kind of good.
Do we have a post photo?
No, it
Okay.
just basically looks a lot like the cheese is more melted and it's a little like a brownish hue on top, but it is some kind of good. And I figured that it's easy to make. You don't have to be a whore in the kitchen in order to do this recipe. And I throw pepper in it and salt and oil when I boil the macaroni. And there you have it. That is Area 41's tasty timeout for this week.
Tara says it sounds like university cuisine.
Do you guys? Let me ask you a really important question here. It's really important. It's serious. Do you guys put hot dogs when you make homemade pizza? Do you put hot dogs on the pizza?
Sometimes.
I've heard,
Yes.
I've heard it called trailer park pizza, and it seemed like they were using that as an insult. But I grew up putting hot dogs on pizza.
As do
So
I.
it seems like such a normal thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the easiest, cheapest way to get some beefy meat on there.
Yeah, beef. You're funny.
Beefy meat.
Yeah, even meat is kind of questionable in that sentence.
Well, there.
Well, it's
All
meat.
right. Neat. All right, Duff, have you got a GIF of the week, buddy?
I do. Today's GIF of the week is going to cater to Ryan and Randy a little bit here, but everyone should enjoy this. It's a game. It's a clip of a racing game, not Forza, but another game. I don't even know what game it is. I just came across the GIF. And you ever play a game where the AI is just completely terrible, just random? Well, this is the GIF of the week.
That's
Wait.
impressive.
Wait,
Damn.
still got it. You ever get the feeling the computer is definitely screwing you over? Well, that's it right there.
That's usually what Randy sees when he races behind me.
It's like,
Me just all over the track, but somehow still beating him.
like second place the whole way. Like the computer was not giving up that place.
Are you saying that you're using cheat codes, Martini?
No, I'm just saying I can be bad and still beat Randy.
Oh.
Waiting for him to write something in chat.
I wish I were a big enough loser to be good at video games.
Randy's probably working on that novel.
Well, there. Awesome. All right, guys. It's time for our last segment of the night. Previously on United A-Holes. All right. I'm going to be scripted for this one, so if you notice that I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm actually reading something. I'll try and be as animated as I can. Previously on United A-Holes. On February 9th, 2019, we released our first official video. It was titled Does the internet kill conversation? At one point in the episode, it was suggested that the situation being discussed that night might have ended differently if all parties involved were in the same room with each other. To get a better understanding of this, let's look at what Saturday Night Live has tried to do recently with mixed results. After 45 years of being on air, Saturday Night Live tried to do their show remotely. This meant each individual cast member, including their guest hosts, Skyped in all their individual sketches in order so they would have content to put their show on. Some were decent, most were not. Because in any show, regardless of the medium, the sum of its parts is not greater than the whole. Because Saturday Night Live was forced to create a show without one of the most vital aspects that make a show great, the ability to play off one another. I only bring this up because our show, at its core, is us sitting all together in Area 41, drawing inspiration from each other, and more importantly, being friends. Sadly, we are not able to do this at this time. One thing that this whole experience has taught us is to be appreciative and to preserve what we have. So I have to announce that just like Saturday Night Live, we are going on hiatus as well. This will allow each of us to tend to our needs and, more importantly, the needs of our families. But rest assured, when we all get back together, and we will, we'll take everything we have learned from this experience and produce a better show for you. And once again, we will be united. On a side note, after watching our very first episode, if you notice on a time stamp of 13:36, Martini actually agrees with something that I said on the show. It's true. I played it 40 times just to be sure.
Just to keep hearing that agreement.
United indeed. But I digress. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe and take care of you and yours. Good night.
Good night.
I love you all,
Bye-bye.
even if you're ugly.